Very similar. Talent everywhere. Great group of skill guys. Talent at the receiver position in terms of not only speed but also ball skills. Sometimes you see guys with speed that don't have the ball skills to make plays, and other times you see guys that don't have speed and can't get themselves open that have tremendous ball skills. This group as a whole has both. Tight ends and fullbacks that don't get a lot of credit that are really good players, and tailbacks that kind of a 1-2 punch, and a quarterback that can make it go. So, and they're good up front and athletic up front. So they're who they are.
Second week for Daniel Green to get tossed with a targeting call there. Do you feel like that's a pretty borderline tough one?
It's always a ticky-tack thing, but we're working on it. In the heat of the moment, it's just an instinct. And when you're trying to, we teach. We use the term nipples and below is what we're teaching. And sometimes when you do that and they are trying to duck their head simultaneously, things happen. And I, no point in complaining about the rule. It is what it is. But sometimes it stinks that it happens to him. Especially a guy that cares as much as he does.
How was West Virginia's defense so effective last week?
I thought they moved around a lot and presented a lot of different pictures to them. They also, to be very frank, they were also are off the field quite a bit. And I didn't see the other side of the ball, but that must have helped also what they were doing over there in limiting the snaps. But in the first quarter, I think Oklahoma only played 7 plays. That's good as long as they're not 7 scoring plays. They were physical. They flew around. They were fun to watch. They're a good defensive football team.
Spencer Rattler heard some boos from the home crowd. Did you watch film of him? Do you have any grasp of that?
I don't know if they're seeing the same thing that I'm seeing on tape, because to me it looks like he's got good command of what's going on, getting the ball where it needs to go. I think it's maybe they're a little bit spoiled over there, but I think he's playing at a high level.
What did Oklahoma State do to open up the passing
We
game?
talked as a defense, players and coaches, about just we need to take accountability for all the things that went wrong. As coaches, we need to take accountability for we were probably slow to react and make a couple changes that we made. We didn't see the game very clearly to make those changes as fast as we needed to make them. But as players, we need to execute better. That's the bottom line. It doesn't matter what we call or what they run. If we're executing, we're going to have a shot, and we just weren't doing that early in the game. And for whatever reason, I can't explain it to you. They didn't show us a lot of pictures that we hadn't worked on. I think we got kind of hit in the mouth right away with an explosive play, and it hadn't really happened to us. And we didn't respond very well until probably the middle of the second quarter when we finally got our feet underneath us. And
what do you say the difference was between the first half giving up those large amount of points and then pitching a shutout in the second half?
Truthfully, we made a few adjustments, minor adjustments, but we just executed a lot better. And I think that something to be said about when we finally got a stop. We finally started to get a little bit of our confidence back, and then as we kept getting more and more stops, it kind of snowballed a little bit. Just like in the beginning of the game when we weren't getting the stops, the lack of confidence showed, and that snowballed a little bit too. And it's a delicate balance there, and I think we gain confidence when we execute, and we know we're executing. Even if things are happening, if you're in a 3 deep and they catch a hitch in front of you, it's a bad call. We're not panicking about that. The players know that too, and they're not panicking about that. They understand the strengths and weaknesses of some of the things that we're doing. But when we're doing things that should shut down the things that we're seeing, and we're not doing it, I think that created a little bit of panic in us. And we're still young. We're working through some of that stuff.
Do you think you'll have T.J. Smith back?
We're hopeful. We'll find out a little bit more this afternoon.
Okay. And was that probably your poorest tackling performance so far?
By far. It wasn't even close. Yeah, it was bad angles, not running through our leverage, terrible technique on tackling. It was embarrassing.
Was there something in particular with the screen game that they were hitting you guys with?
No, I said last week at this time they were one of the better screen teams that we'd see, and that was a concern of mine. I thought, we were maybe a little bit slow to react to some of that stuff, again, I think it's just an execution thing, and then again a tackling thing. I think there was a couple times where we maybe could have knocked it down and didn't, and they ended up being massive explosives.
What are your best memories from the last 2 OU wins?
The first year, 2019, I just remember hanging on to I was upstairs at the time. I just remember hanging onto the table and digging my claws into the thing, hoping we were going to hang on. Last year, I just remember the guys, even down 35-14, just the confidence that they had, just knowing that we could go out there and get stops, and the confidence that the offense had, and just the relentlessness of us not giving up. That's what I recall, and just we were really locked in. We were focused on what we were doing. We didn't care about the scoreboard, and that's what we want our guys to focus on.
You need more aggressive play out of your back five?
No question. I think, especially when it comes to tackling, getting off blocks, things that we emphasize all the time. We've got to do that better. We're not going to have success.
Do you continue to use that confidence of the last 2 years against Oklahoma knowing? Do you think the guys use that when they go into a game, or is it just kind of something they just...
Couldn't tell you. I don't know. I know that, I think they just see what's in front of them. I think they know that we can play with these guys. I think if anything, they've got that in the back of their heads. But we still got to play the plays that we see, and we still got to execute.
Is Reggie Stubblefield expected back this week?
Again, we'll find out today. It's been the touch-and-go week.
OU moved Mims to the slots. Have teams been doing anything to take him away?
Not particularly that I've seen. I mean, they're doing a good job of getting him touches, and they do move him around a little bit. Heck, we've seen him in the backfield. We've seen him in different places, but he's got tremendous speed, and is certainly a guy we're gonna know where he's at.
Oklahoma State had some success running the ball. How much did that kind of mentally put you guys back on your heels a little bit?
Something we didn't expect. I mean, we obviously thought they were going to run the football, and we thought they were going to run a lot of the plays that they did run, and for us not to control the line of scrimmage the way we had the first 3 weeks was something different for us, and some of that was just alignments, something as simple as just being in a wrong alignment. There were some things that we did that were baffling. Some of it, like I said, was coaching error, where we've got to see things a little cleaner, and I've got to do a better job of getting us some of those things fixed quicker. But yeah, it was a different place that we hadn't been, and so that's an important focal point for us this week and every week.